What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. This video is discussing the latest changes with the Nightblade, and as the thumbnail suggests, is it the Nightblade sunset? And what I mean by that, as in the with historical times, the pirate sunset, as is they've had their day and they get hunted down, and also with the Western Wild West sunset, and you know that fizzled out as well. But basically, this is the same sort of thing. To be honest, is it the Nightblade sunset? Have they had their day? They've had their golden era, as it were. And is it time to finally say goodbye? So this is just a video just discussing my thoughts on these changes. I made a video recently regarding the actual changes themselves. You know, that they've made shadowy disguise much more difficult to use, so ganking is basically going to be a lot more difficult. And is the glory days of ganking and Nightblades in a nutshell over? Firstly, I'll have to say is that Nightblades, the class itself, are S tier. There's no question about that. Everyone knows that. They have the access to the most major buffs and minor buffs in any class they're against. So they excel in burst, healing, mobility, you name it, they've got it. And obviously, you know, a lot of people and a lot of players, you know, would say that the ganking is just far too much. Also, with the nerf to the undeaf, people are a little bit squishier as well, so they're going down even faster. And I think this was on the cards with the nerf to shadowy disguise. So, you know, to be honest, I think it did need an adjustment. It was being abused a little bit, you know, where ganking has been around for so long. I mean, the game's 10 years old now, and, you know, it can be highly abused, particularly if you've got a high max magical pool, which is what I was doing as well, having a high max magical pool. So you can spam heals and cloak all day long. So this is not going to be the case anymore from the PTS patch notes, unless they do make any further changes into the weeks coming. I do feel personally it should have just been a ramping cost, as in just like Streak, the more you press it, the more costly it becomes. I feel that would be a better way to address the issue of people spamming cloak and disappearing. But that is just my personal opinion. But to be honest, you know, really getting into it, you know, saying it's the Nightblade sunset, you know, are we going to see gankers anymore? Are we going to see bombers anymore? And my answer to that is yes, you still will. Even with these changes, if they stayed as they were, you're still going to get bombers, you're still going to get gankers. It's just going to basically increase the level of difficulty to get successful ganks, and maybe getting consecutive ganks is going to be a bit more difficult because the drain on the magicka, and obviously no recovery when you are actually in shadowy disguise, invisible and cloaked. But there is ways around it. Possible, you know, have a high max magica pool, or you know, another option would be to run stage 4 vampire, which turns you invisible, or you've got invisibility pots. People have mentioned sets to me as well. There's all sorts of alternatives, and I don't think ganking will be going away. It may become a lot more difficult, and I don't think it's going to be moved in the right direction, but I just think, again, they just never address things correctly. This is my issue, you know. Yes, it needs adjustments. A lot of things in the games need adjustments, but I think, like I said, a ramping cost would have been much better. So, yeah, really, to be honest, like I said, the Nightblades do excel incredibly well in the right hands. And like I said, with the ganking, you could just throw 2 sets on. Even a novice player, and you could really deal some serious damage to players from great distance as well, or even melee range. But, you know, to be honest, I think this is going to just alter the way people are going to gank. You're going to get more ranged ganks. You know, the bombing, it might not affect as much because that's just like a one-time hit and go. But with the multiple ganking, it's definitely going to become a lot more difficult. But people will find ways around this. You know, we will find ways around it. Like I said, you know, and people are happy that it's been nerfed. You know, I'm not happy seeing a lot of things nerfed when they're nerfed hard. That is my issue. Obviously, everyone hates gankers. You know, I hate being ganked. I've been ganked a million times. I've ganked people a million times. I've played everything else a lot as well. But, you know, every play style to me, I feel, is valid in some shape or form. I know, like, all the top players and lots of players just want people just to go in there, be a brawler, you know, massive ball groups, and it just ends in endless stalemates. And I do feel that, you know, like a dedicated healer or a bomber or a ganker or a tank bot, you know, can really turn the tide of a battle. And I think that's where they do have their place, and if utilised correctly, they can work and they are beneficial to the PvP community. And that's what I think a lot of people miss. They just see that they've been ganked harshly. Why are they still in the game? This needs a nerf, blah, blah, blah. Everything is going to be abused. You know, you can get dedicated healers in battlegrounds. That can be abused, you know, and they're not even taking any, you know, they're not dealing any damage. They're just pure healing, supporting the whole team, you know, and that gets on people's nerves as well. But it's still a valid play style. It's just being abused into that way where it can be really manipulated and just really effective, and that is the problem. But with gankers, you know, they have their place with destroying siege attacks, going behind enemy lines, you know, taking difficult players out that are really cleaving people down. So to be honest, you know, like I said, I don't like anything being nerfed in the way this has been nerfed. You know, I do agree that it should have been nerfed or adjusted, like with a ramping cost, but not to be like this. So hopefully there will be some changes. And like I said, if you nerf a very big play style for the, you know, a lot of players, and then you're releasing PvP content, you know, you want players to be in the PvP, don't you? So, you know, you're just going to be left with tryhards and people that love ball groups, you know, because that's what it's going to favour. So hopefully there will be some more changes. And like I said, I don't want any play styles to go away in this game. They all have their place. So the glory days could be over for Nightblade and ganking in particular. But we'll just have to wait and see what is actually going to happen in the coming weeks. And this is just my view and my perspective on things. And hopefully there will be some more adjustments to a lot of things as well. You know, there's a lot of things in this game that are very overpowered with the sorcerer's shields, you know, the arcanist crazy stun or paralyze, you know, the master's jewel. There is still a lot of powerful things in the game, and you know, to attack one thing very aggressively does get a lot of players' backs up, you know, because ganking can be fun. It is annoying to get ganked, but, you know, it's annoying to get hit by a lot of things and then you just move on. But, yeah, just pretty much my 2 cents. And just let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. There's going to be ways around everything. Nothing's going to fully die. Play style-wise, we'll just have to wait and see. And yeah, just drop this video a like, guys, and like I said, put in the comments your opinion on this matter. Do you agree with me? Do you not? We're all open for discussion. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.